first thing, perhaps we should start with who you are and where we are.
Okay. My name is Eve Tetaz, and we're in my apartment, I live in the Adams Morgan section of Washington, D.C. And who am I? Well, I feel that I fulfill many roles. A little over 10 years ago, I started a nonprofit called Life Pathways, in which we work with single parents and try to get them integrated into the society as citizens and parents and so on. And that has taken my energy. Actually, even while I was teaching, I started it while I was still teaching. And then after, when my husband died and I left teaching, then I did Life Pathways full time. And actually came into the peace work perhaps as a result of being a teacher, working with young people, working with Life Pathways, seeing the fact that the individual should have the right to become all he or she can be. And if he wastes or she wastes her energies on stupid things like war, then that's, a terrible waste. That's not the reason for being, for living. So
how long were you a teacher and where were you a teacher?
Oh, I've been a teacher longer than you have been on this earth, probably, like over 30 years. And I've taught in New York, inner city, Washington, inner city, but I also taught overseas. I taught in Iran, Thailand, France, where else? And Ghana.
Were you with a particular organization as you taught in these different countries?
Yes. I mean, actually, when I was first in France, I taught in a dependent school, Army dependent school, when the U.S. was part of NATO, and I taught the children of the personnel there in a very large army base near Paris. That was my first teaching experience. But then after I was married and my husband and I moved to France, I taught in a private school in Paris. And then when I was in Iran, I taught for the Presbyterian Church. They had a school in a former hospital where the Queen, the present Empress, Farad Diba, was born, actually. So,
So as an American and as a Christian, how were you treated in Iran?
With contempt. I mean, it's a male society, and walking down the street, of course they didn't think anything of it, but walking down the street, men would pinch you. I mean, actually pinch you, and you had no recourse because this was, the acceptable thing to do.
And what years were you in Iran?
1959 to 63.
Wow. And now, we've seen you involved quite a bit in the peace movement, which is going to bring us to some questions we're going to have a little later in the interview. But what first helped you make the step to really join in and participate in the peace movement here in America?
Well, I think my experience working with young people and again seeing the tremendous waste of effort and you know, the slaughter of the innocents, and just how this whole war, which was illegal, I believe, immoral, was just a tremendous waste, and gave lie to the fact that we are a democracy founded on law and a constitution which talks about the dignity of and the right of all to life, liberty, and happiness. I believe that it's not just does it apply to just people that wear the uniform of America, but the dignity of all human beings, the right of all human beings to be all they can be.
Now I noticed today that you're wearing a shirt that says "Shut Down Guantanamo," and it's in Guantanamo orange. Some people may question, what are we to do with enemies we find on the battlefield that may have information that could lead to saving lives of our troops? Should we, does that give us moral justification to torture them to save American lives?
Absolutely not. For the very simple reason, torture is wrong. All right, that's reason number one. Reason number two is that torture does not work. I mean, people, an individual in pain or rendered, you know, irresponsible by torture, he's not going, or she's not going to give correct information. So torture just doesn't work in terms of getting correct and useful information. And then the other reason is very important, that being the torturer affects the kind of human being that the torturer is in danger of becoming. It's like owning a slave. I mean, it's horrible because it deadens your sense of the dignity of all life. And for the same reason, I cannot torture another human being for fear that I too will become a torturer and a murderer and a criminal. I mean, granted that Hitler was a monster, granted that Saddam Hussein was a monster, but nonetheless, to torture these people, it does not keep us from becoming like them.
So it seems, so your main reasons it would be wrong to start with,
yeah,
for every kind of reason, and then also it doesn't necessarily lead, or there's no evidence really that torture will lead to giving us good information to protect our troops. Thus it might actually endanger our troops by giving them wrong information.
Exactly. You know, I don't think that it might be, you know, injurious to us. It is, because it does not give correct information. And